I've just taken delivery of this Drift Ghost X. Bought it yesterday, sports bike shop. It was reduced from £129 to £108, so I thought it was too good a deal to miss. It has a 300 degree rotating lens, so you can align your shots. It's also smaller than the previous Drift Ghost models. It will take a 128 gig micro SD card in the bottom here. It goes in that side, and that side is where you can recharge or plug in the external mic adapter, which is here. It will record at 1080p 30 frames per second. It'll also do HDR mode. If you want 60 frames per second, you'll have to drop it down to 720p. It also comes supplied, as I said, with this external mic adapter. I purchased the microphone separately, which I've fitted into my helmet and is attached onto my other microphone here. It's the small piece, the small one. The larger one is for my Bluetooth intercom. There is a mic built into it. It has a front and rear mic, but from the other reviews that I've seen, it's not particularly good. Picks up a lot of wind noise and whistling if it's on the side of your helmet. So I'm going to use the external mic. It has a 140 degree maximum field of view, which is adjustable from 90 to 115 degrees. Also has various recording modes. There's a car DVR mode, which will record in a continuous loop, and once it fills your 128 gig card up, it will start recording again from the beginning. It does a video tagging mode, where you can press the start button to start recording, and it will record some previous footage that has been stored in the buffer. It does a video mode where you can do a manual stop and start just by pressing the button to start it, pressing the button to stop recording. And it also has a photo mode, so you can take photos up to a maximum of 12 megapixels. The good thing about this as well, apart from the sheer size of it, it's tiny, is it has a removable battery. This comes off. The battery life on this supplied is 5 hours, which I think is pretty amazing. You can also buy an optional extended battery, which will give you 8 hours. What I'm going to do now is put this onto my bike and go out for a test and test it on various modes. Okay, I've just taken delivery of this Drift Ghost X camera. I thought I'd take it out for a test drive. It's a beautiful day today, and why not? That's the noise with the screen up, and the mic sensitivity is on 1. I'm recording at 1080p, 30 frames per second, with a high video bitrate. I'll change some settings as I'm out on a ride today to see how it goes. I'm going to drop the resolution down to 720p, but put the frame rate up to 60 frames per second. I'll try the mic sensitivity, and I'll also try it in HDR mode. I'm going to put the screen down now, the visor down, to see what kind of difference that makes to the sound. And by the way, I'm out today on a 2014 Yamaha MT-09, and the beautiful sound coming from the can is the Akrapovic. I love the sound of that. especially when I get it going, when I wind it up. I bought this camera, it arrived yesterday, it's my first day out on it today. Bought it from Sports Bike Shop. They just reduced the price of it from £129 to £108. So I thought that's too good a deal to miss when I was looking around for a camera. And I think the next nearest ones were up at around £200. Okay, the maximum resolution of this camera is 1080p at 30 frames per second. Obviously they're more expensive cameras that will record at 60 frames per second, and they were also, you know, they'll go up to 4K recording, such as the GoPro Hero Session. The main attraction of this camera is the battery life. With a standard battery, we're looking at 5 hours recording time, which is pretty good, really. I also bought the external microphone with this one. It was about an extra £16. An adapter comes with the camera to plug the external mic in. I'm going to pick up the speed a little bit now and see how the mic handles that. See if you can still hear me okay, see if there's any wind noise interference on this microphone level 1. Certainly blows the cobwebs out. And my son used to have a Suzuki Bandit 650 2008 reg, and I loved the riding position of that, and just the fact that he wasn't surrounded by any fairing, and it was just a fun bike to ride. You could just get up and go, and it sounded great too. I wanted something similar, and when I had to go on this, it just fits the bill in every respect. Oh, there's something going on there. There's a lot of ambulances. I bought this because I can go out in the country for a quick blast. This MT-09 2014 ABS. Beautiful upright riding position, relaxed leg position. I'm not leant over at all. And I bought this for the fun factor. So I can go out and blast around the country lanes. You can ride it sensibly too if you want, which I do most of the time. I'm going to pull over and make some adjustments on the camera. Now recording, still at 1080p, 30 frames per second. 1080p in HDR mode, and I've adjusted the mic sensitivity to 3. I'll give that a little go, and I'll pull over, and I will adjust the video again to 720p, 60 frames per second. It's such a nice small camera, this, the Drift Ghost X. I could even take it cycling when I go out on my bike. So I'm currently recording, the mic sensitivity has gone up to 3, and we're at 1080p in HDR mode. See how the camera copes with the sunlight and the shade of the trees. And like I said earlier, the maximum this is going to do is 1080p. 30 frames per second, I do the high dynamic range as well, but some cameras will do the 4K or 60 frames per second at 1080p. But you know, when you're watching on YouTube, do you really need to see the hairs on a badger's bum as you drive past it? Or do you really need to see each individual stone on the road as you're riding along, or the leaves on the trees? You know it's a tree, you know it's a road. I'm going to pull over in a sec and adjust the sensitivity of the microphone. I think I'll put that down to 2. Shouldn't really stop at a bus stop, although the bus would have plenty of space with me being a biker. I'll pull in around here at this car park. So on 720p, 60 frames per second. Might make a difference when you're playing it straight back to your own television from your own video file, but when you upload it to YouTube, because of how YouTube processes and compresses the files, you might not be able to see much difference anyway. Okay, we're off again. This is 720p, 60 frames per second. Bit of sand on the road there. No overtaking. You can overtake if you can see, and I can see. Quite a low seat height on this bike, this MT-09, which I really like. A relatively low seat height. It's about 810 millimeters, so I can just about get my feet flat on the floor on it. The seat height is not adjustable, and being able to get my feet down flat was a real plus point yesterday as we had a ride over Winrose Pass and Hardknot Pass up in the Lake District. Beautiful ride up there. We went through Windermere and Ambleside. Fantastic A roads, beautiful scenery. And we got to the Hard Knot Pass. It's a 30% incline with single track roads, very uneven, and tight hairpin bends on a 30% incline. Oh my god. And a couple of times the guy in front of me stopped and he put his feet down, so I had to stop quickly and get my feet down, and then trying to start off again. A hill start on a 30% incline was it was a new experience, a little bit scary. I think I'm going to pull over again and set the video to 1080p 30 frames per second. So I think I had it in HDR mode first of all. From all of the other reviews that I've seen on YouTube about this camera, everybody else seems to be very impressed with it. And before I came across this, I was looking at other things, the GoPro Hero and the Session, the GoPro Session. But, you know, there's a compromise with everything, I suppose. I like the shape of this camera and the size of it. It's an aerodynamic kind of bullet shape, I suppose, and it's very small as well, smaller than I thought. Quite fits nicely on the profile of the helmet. It doesn't look out of place or bulky. In fact, it's not much bigger than my little BT intercom on the other side of my helmet. And the bonus with this is the battery life, 5 hours battery life. You could easily record a whole day's ride, and if you bought the bigger capacity battery for $24.99, you get 8 hours. It's got a great app with this, I like it anyway. You can start and stop recording and adjust the settings for it. You can also level the camera up. So I'll stop recording. So now back on 1080p. This is 30 frames per second. I think when I first set off we were on the HDR mode. And I've adjusted the mic sensitivity back down to 1. It was on 3 a second ago. 59.7 miles per gallon average on an MT-09. I must be riding it wrong, eh? So we're now on 1080p, 30 frames per second, and I've set the microphone sensitivity back down to 1. Very nice of that fella to pull over for me. Yeah, you do get a bit of wind blast on this bike. But not as much as you'd think. I can quite comfortably ride up to 85 miles an hour. On a private road, of course. And there's no neck strain. It's absolutely fine as long as the weather's quite calm. Yesterday we were coming back from a Hard Knot Pass and it was really windy, very windy. It was a little bit scary. But I was also out with somebody else riding Kawasaki Z1000SX, and he had the same problem. The previous videos on my channel were recorded with a GoPro Hero Session, the Session 5, and I didn't have a camera at the time. I was on the tour though, and I did all the editing with the music. I didn't have a camera at the time, so Baxi very kindly passed all his footage over to me. I edited it and uploaded it to YouTube so we could all watch it. I've always fancied having a camera, it was just the price of them that has been off-putting for me. You know, I like having a motorbike because I find it exhilarating. It blows the cobwebs out, wakes you up, gets the adrenaline flowing like a cold shower or a hard run. Oh, what a lovely ride again this morning. Beautiful day. It's a little bit windy, but it's not too bad. Not as bad as yesterday. Well, and once again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.